proposed Jiffy Lube located at 1161 and 1171 Ridge Road and 974 Jackson Road. Applicant Bowler Engineering is requesting preliminary site plan review associated with the construction of 3,000 square foot Jiffy Lube auto care facility on proposed 0.848 parcel consisting of the above referenced addresses and being located in a MC commercial district under Gordon Town Parcel.
Good evening. For the record, I'm Karen Majanowski from Bowler Engineering, and I'm here with John Mark from Guggenheim Development Services, LLC this evening. It's been a while since we've been in front of the board. We were first here in February to introduce this project, so I'll go through a brief overview again of the project and an update on where we've been since February. We're here for the proposed redevelopment of the land at the southeast corner of Ridge Road and Jackson Road here in the town. We are also proposing a lot line adjustment to create a 0.84 acre lot for the project, and the remainder of the lands would remain with the current owner, which is the rest of this parcel outlined here. We are proposing a 3,000 plus or minus square foot Jiffy Lube multi-care facility that would face perpendicular to Ridge Road with the bays facing the side to Jackson Road. So cars would enter from the parking lot side and exit towards Jackson Road, as you can see on the plan here. The facility will have 4 bays and 12 parking spaces. We are proposing a full access to Jackson Road and a limited access to Ridge Road, which would restrict left turns out due to the proximity to the intersection and the lanes that are in the road there. The site is in the medium intensity commercial district. We went in front of the zoning board and obtained the necessary use variance for the project for the proposed use, as well as the 4 necessary area variances as well, and all of those were obtained. So now we're here to return to the board. We've developed full engineered site plan drawings, which were submitted, and that included everything from demolition, which involves the demolition of 4 structures closest to the intersection, utilities, all of which are available there today, and we will plan to reuse or propose new connections as necessary, stormwater design, and landscaping as well, which included some street trees up along the street frontages as necessary. We also have proposed building elevations. I apologize, my printer's not the best, but this is actually a Nichiha brick for the building, and the color of that product is crimson, so it will be much more of a true brick red than what is printed here. But all 4 sides will have that treatment, as all 4 are relatively visible, being up at the intersection when you have different approaches from each road. We wanted to enhance the building on all 4 sides. There will be a stone veneer wainscot along the base of the building on all 4 sides as well, with a deep red canopies on the bays and more of a brown bronze canopy along the entranceways and the windows as well. If you want, I can go through which side faces each street, or we can get into that later, but we have those available and submitted as well for review. We did receive the PRC comments, which were very minor and technical in nature, and I see no problems addressing those. And I believe the last piece is that we were waiting on the county review, which unless that came in today, I understand we might have to wait for that and go with just a regular preliminary vote this evening if possible. So we're here to answer any questions and comments as well.
Well, one of them is in the PRC is, you're showing the island in the center on the exit. putting more of a flare in those things, because we've got somewhere that they mean nothing, people still make it,
We'll make sure that's there. We did make a modification to it, so it might not have had the most recent plans, and maybe it wasn't clear, but we'll make sure that that's.
I mean, it's gotta be, if you look at Whiteman's, up on the Fair Boulevard, theirs is quite wide. And we've got some that are much narrower, and that's very longer than another. So it's more a deterrent to it.
Sure.
And we addressed some of the, you saw the PRC guidelines, right?
Correct.
And that's for the house, okay. As far as the project, I think you've done a good job with that, we got that down. The drainage, that's been all resolved. Anything else, anybody, anything that,
There is an email coming in the Senate regarding this project.
what's that?
There was an email sent regarding this.
Yeah, that's the one I'll have Josh read that in, that's the same way. It's all engineering detail, really. Okay, anybody in concerns or questions, comments?
I mentioned before, my concern is going on Jackson Road, trying to cut across there. If you look at it, it's 179 feet approximately to there, where there, and it's, to be able to cross out, because I go down this road all the time, I live down the road, turn left across the traffic there, the traffic piles out there, no doubt about it. But just a point of maybe just ingress and regress out going north. That's my.
Unless you do.
Okay, on
We've got
Jackson.
in and out there.
Yeah, but you're gonna, because it's not direct.
So you're going south on Jackson or something?
No, yeah, if someone wants to cross over the road and go south.
Okay.
They gotta go across the traffic, it's back up there or through that area there. Just like what they have on Ridge Road though, they have ingress and regress as control. So if you control it when you're going out of Jackson Road, you would want that to go towards the north. So you're directing traffic going out of Jackson Road to the north.
And
They
that-
can't cut across Jackson and turn left and go south.
I think that's kind of tough to do, though, isn't it?
If-
You're really restricting it. I mean, if somebody's going down Jackson Road and they can't turn south, if they're in the parking lot waiting to get out, at least there isn't a line of traffic going out, so it'll be one car at a time once in a blue moon. So it's not heavy traffic going out.
Yeah, and it looks like too, there won't be enough room to do like you said, to put a bigger turn, direction out.
Because now if you steer them north, how do they get up Jackson Road? You can, no, I don't think you can really change
Okay,
that.
all right, just a point that I want to make in regards to.
Yeah.
That's it.
There was talk, I remember we had PRC regarding westbound at Ridge Road. Okay, let me see, how am I looking at this? There's a center lane there on Ridge Road going to Jackson Road. If you're going west, so you can turn left onto Jackson Road, am I all right?
Yes.
Right, okay. So if they, in that lane, they can make a left turn to go in to Jiffy Lube.
They can take a left onto Jackson and then a left into.
Well, no, forget Jackson Road, no. You're going west on Ridge Road, coming like from the village of Webster, you're going west.
Yes.
You're coming up to Jackson Road, okay?
Yep.
And then there's a center turning lane there for Jackson Road. I'm gonna guess that's big enough to be able to make a turn, a left turn into Jiffy Lube.
That's correct.
Okay, okay. All right, so that arrow you've got coming in does allow for westbound traffic. You show an arrow in the road there.
Well, I thought that entrance was so you can only do right turn into the parking lot, and left, right turn going out.
So turning into the site from Ridge is a full movement. You can turn a right or a left. And
Going in,
Going in,
yeah,
yes. But the left out on the Ridge is what's restricted.
correct,
so
that's
that-
eliminated.
Yeah, so that left turn lane already has those arrows. Those were picked up on our survey. So the worst thing that would happen is, you know, if they'd have to wait to turn left, you know, from that 7-lane site. But
Personally, I think that's laid out okay. I mean, we did discuss this at the PRC meeting, you know, highway department and everything, so everybody was pretty much on board with that. So it's left turn westbound going in, coming out onto Ridge Road, it's only right turn going out.
correct,
Jackson Road is in and out.
correct.
All right. Yeah, it shows the turning lane right there. So that turning lane is quite long too. To make a left turn onto Jackson Road, so that gives people getting into that lane, not blocking Ridge Road, still getting the opportunity to go there. All right. Anything, anybody else, anything? Okay, again, this is a public hearing, I guess there's no one here for that. All right, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back, anybody, any more concerns? There's a letter, why don't you read that letter, so it goes into the record, Josh, please?
Yeah, this was received from Dorothy Fate of 742 High Tower Way in regards to the Jiffy Lube proposed project. I would like to know if left turns from Jackson Road into the driveway on Jackson will be prohibited due to the possibility that traffic could back up onto Ridge Road. If a car needs to wait to be able to make that left turn, I would also like to know the size of the trucks that will be delivering supplies or picking up the usual oil.
And those trucks would be just standard oil recycled, I'm assuming? I mean, they're not tractor trailers.
Nothing
no.
larger than a box truck. And as far as, you know, this is an extremely low
Yeah,
traffic volume, so, you know, the odds of 2 cars. would make it
and that's basically why we level 11 the approval for this there, because of the low volume of trailer in the area. All right, we've got another record, so, all right, have to do a secret, Derek, want to do a secret on it? You okay with this?
Yeah, I just got a few questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
I noticed on the PRC comments in 2 locations, there's a sewer department says need complete chemical survey, and it's also under the action items, complete the chemical survey. What type of chemicals are they anticipating using?
So,
You know, oil, and then what else?
yeah, just typical oil, I mean, oil changes is the majority of it. So waste oil, which is picked up by a preferred vendor. We can supply a full list if you'd like, but that's the major one.
So waste oil, the raw oil itself, do we use solvents in them?
Yeah.
Good evening. Again, just for the record, John Marth, Guggenheim Development, LLC. Relative to the chemicals or things that we use on site, so the oil is stored in bulk steel tanks in the basement of the facility. We essentially create a concrete vault, the secondary containment in the basement. It's where the mechanics also work under the vehicles. And then there's a waste oil, it's a closed system. Waste oil is retrieved from the site at a regular interval. The trucks on site are no bigger than a home heating oil tank, home heating oil truck, and then obviously a garbage truck are probably the 2 largest vehicles on site. But nothing by way of heavy solvents or any of that kind of thing. It's really just the oils and lubricants relative to the vehicle's service. Again, all stored in the basement in what is essentially also a closed concrete vault, no penetrations or anything for some.
So being in the basement of the secondary container, is that portion of the facility is subject to the scope of action firms?
Right, so we have a file of bulk storage permit application as well. That'll be reviewed by, I believe, DEC.
Will that be for both the raw and the waste oil?
I believe it's both this. And we can provide, if the board would like, we can give a more detailed.
I'm just kidding.
Do you guys change transmission fluid or brake fluid or anything like that?
I believe we do some of that stuff, some of the flushing of the vehicles, but again, I can provide you, I don't want to speak out of turn because I've got all the literature on it that I can provide, so I believe some of that is done on some vehicles, but again, the vast majority of our business is oil change.
The sewer department got on all this at the PRC too. This is something they go after wholeheartedly. I mean, they make sure that there's
Well, you don't want that stuff in the
separators,
environment, for sure.
and they inspect this as it's being built and everything else.
Yep.
So it's a complete process.
One of the separators itself, that is,
I'm sorry, sir?
the separators are on the floor drains.
So there's an oil water separator in floor drains, as well as we have immediately outside of the building, there's another oil water separator tank. You can see, actually, I think it shows it on the plan, just outside the garage bed. As well as the monitoring footage.
And they discharge to the sewer system.
Yes.
For this facility, do you have to do anything for compliance with DEC with the parking lot itself for incidental spills that may occur in the parking area?
Historic,
Catch basins, right?
yeah, historically, we haven't, because again, everything is happening within that sort of box that's the basement. There's nothing on the first floor by way of any of those oils or anything like that. It's all contained within that basement area. So historically, at least since I've been down here, we've not had any issues like that.
It's been a while since I've done one of these things. Are they subject to air permits at all for, the other vehicles turned off on the inside?
Not that I'm aware of.
Kind of along the lines of traffic, when we're talking before about low volume of traffic, it's perception of this business itself to lines and lines of people waiting to go
We
through.
would love that, but that's, yeah.
Do you have a sense on the typical wait time for vehicles coming in and out?
So wait times, I mean, typically somebody would be in the facility for an oil change. Obviously, oil changes move pretty quickly. So the way the business works is the first 2 bays are really the oil change bays. That's a fairly high turnover, as I'm sure you've all been to a quick loop. Those are, 15 or 20 minutes, you're in and out. And then the other bays are for, what might be deemed a longer service. Obviously, Jiffy Lube's trying to upsell other additional services. We're talking 35 to 40 cars a day is a good performing store. So that's kind of the cadence of a day, and we're typical business hours, sort of that 9 to 5-ish, plus or minus.
So typically, with kind of the flow of the business itself, you may have a couple of cars waiting to pull out.
Right. We design, and Jiffy Lube asked us to design for a double car stack behind each garage bay. So you could, in theory, have a car in each bay and 2 cars behind it and still room to circulate the site. I think frankly, it would probably kill to have that many cars here.
You'd like to do that. What, I don't know if you brought this up before, your exterior lighting?
So because of the hours of the facility, we actually don't require any light poles because of the hours that John just mentioned. So anything would be handled on the building itself.
Okay, so any lights on the building are downlit, right?
Correct. LED down lights, and then at night it's really just emergency and safety lighting. We don't propose any large pole lighting on in there because we're not open generally during nighttime hours.
And your, well, some of the places you guys aren't doing tires there, but where tires are slowly end up always in piles of tires and trash. No outside storage,
That is correct.
right? No outside storage,
That is correct.
right? Okay. No outside storage.
Understood? Understood, Mr. Chair.
All right,
Is there a dumpster inside?
There it is.
they
yes.
have they showed an enclosure there.
And an enclosure in the back here.
You're enclosing the dumpster?
Correct. Our standard spec is usually a split block, but we can make this be that brick facade to match the
That'd be
building.
great.
That works better.
That would be really pretty.
Yep.
Nice.
Typically, the cardboard boxes, whatever the products are supplied with, what happens to the waste? Do go in there too? or they-
That is a good question that I'm not sure I have the answer to. I'm not really sure how they specifically dispose of the filters.
Well, they're not dumping them in the dumpster.
That's
for
that I can tell you for sure. It's not an open oil situation we're dumping it.
Some other process inside.
Yes.
Okay, let's see, covered it pretty much. Anybody, anything else?
I just
Are
have
you
one
seeker
question.
on it?
Just one question. The signage that's shown in the elevation drawings, do you anticipate getting approval as a part of site plan for those, or will that be a follow-on application?
If we,
I mean, I'd love to get the approval for those, but I think we understand that given the regulations for signage, it's probably a little robust.
I mean, we can deal with it at a final. I was just,
Yeah, because they gotta be back anyways.
if you want it as a part of the site plan approval, which we would prefer,
Okay.
I would just need, dimensions of what the proposed signage is, just to analyze to make sure it complies with the code. And if it doesn't, then maybe variances.
We'll come back, what we typically do, we'll come back with the compliant amount of signage so that you can approve it. And then I advise the client, if you want to go for variances after the fact for additional signage, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Here's what you're allowed, here's what we can get you.
Good.
So
Oh,
we'll work on that.
one other thing too. I've got a whole bunch of tablecloths on, if you could just make this into an 11 by 17. Okay?
We thought
bring it next time.
we thought you wanted to see that brick really big on there.
Now, these could be just 11 by 17 or something.
Yeah.
And on your final, you'll have all your information, so. All right, window seeker in there?
Yeah. So based on the discussions, it doesn't appear that we have any reason to send this to the warrant board. This is a motion for ongoing action. Town of Webster Planning Board considers the request by applicant, Bowler Engineering, to construct 4 parcels located at 1161 and 1171 Ridge Road and 974 Ridge Road. And had a guest bureau numbers 080.12-1, -2-1, 080.13-2-2, 080.13-2-3.1, and 080.13-2-52. And the 2 parcels, and to remove 2 existing buildings and for the construction of a 3,000 square foot Jiffy Lube auto care facility on a newly formed 0.84 parcel with full access to Ridge Road, to Jackson Road, and right-in access from Ridge Road. Right-in, right-out access from Ridge Road, and left out to, right out. The project also includes associated parking, landscaping, lighting, and storm water management. The planning board determines that the proposed action is an unlisted action based on the following. Number 1, the action required a change of use variance from the zoning board of appeals to allow an auto-related use in an MC district. This excludes the proposed action as a type 2 action as defined by section 617.5C 9 of the state for non-residential structures. The planning board determined that the action is subject to single agency review pursuant to part 617.6B4 of seeker, and that it is the most appropriate agency for making the determination of significance. The planning board therefore designates itself lead agency for the proposed action. The planning board is giving consideration to the criteria for determining significance as set forth in section 617.7C1 of seeker, and has 1, consider the information contained in the short environmental assessment form part 1 dated January 28, 2021. Number 2, consider the public comments directed to the planning board of the concept of evening on February 2nd, 2021. 3, consider public comments directed to the planning board during the public hearing on June 1st, 2021. And and 4, completed Part 2 of the environmental assessment. Now therefore be resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby determines that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment. The reasons set forth in the attached notice of determination are non-significant. Being further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board is authorized to take all actions reasonable and necessary to file a negative declaration and discharge the Town of Webster Planning Board's responsibility as lead agency for this action. Being further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the information and analysis above, the reference supporting documentation, and discussions of the actions by the Town of Webster Planning Board as documented by the minutes for this meeting, that the proposed action will not result in any significant environmental impacts. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board therefore makes a determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the above reasons, issues a negative declaration as evidence of its determination.
I'll second it. The minor correction at the beginning stated 1161, 1171, and then you said 974 Ridge Road, it's 974 Jackson. Okay. I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Coastal?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Arena?
Aye.
Mr. Pashon?
Okay, the applicant's here for preliminary approval of the CUP, so we're gonna make a motion for preliminary?
I'll make a motion for preliminary approval for Jiffy Lube located on the corner of Ridge Road and Jackson Road. Be subject to PRC comments, subject to letter of credit posted with the Town of Webster. All improvements should be constructed according to the specifications of the Town of Webster. All roadway construction will be according to the specification of the Town of Webster, and the site orders to be in compliance with the standards of the Town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. Address drainage, lighting, signage, landscaping, buffer, grooming, snow storage. Approvals are subject to reviewing the C101. Revision dated May 5th, 2024.
You probably should put in there too, because they did get a variance.
And subject to the determination as to the age of the
Yeah. All right.
Second.
Have a second?
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Coastal?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Arena?
Aye.
Mr. Pashon?
All right.
Thank you.
So,
And
couple weeks.
does the public hearing remain open?
I'm sorry?
Does the public hearing remain open?
No, the public hearing is closed.
Thank you.
This was the public hearing.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Why, you want to remind me?
I didn't know if there was a motion or if I missed it. Okay, we should be back on the 15th then.
Yeah, just on your final drawing, have all your paperwork and stuff, you know?
Yes.
Or any changes. Actually, you know what, we should put that in, because if they got the drawing and they come in not to have to do another one or change it, Dave, if you could amend your thing, making it subject to, well, you won't be able to do it, preliminary and final approvals on the cover sheet of the drawing, which is part of it. I'm trying to get you to make one drawing and have it for everything, you know? We'll do that. Well, we can put, you know what, if they got preliminary, final's gonna be nothing but minor detail. So on your cover sheet of your final drawing, put on the resolution that we did now, you know, the approvals.
Okay.
This way that stuff can be checked by highway department and so on and so forth. And building inspector, he knows what we looked at, you know.
So we'll add the preliminary approval.
Yeah, just put that on your
resolution.
final drawing sheet,
Okay.
okay? All right.
At this point, are we going to wait to do final bid to do any kind of a resolution in regards to the subdivision? Since we're combining lots.
Was that,
Subdivision approval.
That was part of the application. It's a,
we didn't do that originally? We didn't?
The first meeting was just introductory, I'm not sure there were any
Okay,
motions.
I didn't recall. All right, yeah, want to make a motion? Make a motion. Yeah, oh, yeah. For resolution for, no, I probably got one here. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't got one.
I guess if you lay it and say motion for subdivision approval for combining parcels, because we're going to have to get a new parcel numbers. For combining parcels 080.12-2-1 and 080.13-2-2 and 080.13-2-3.1 and 080.13-2-52 and the two parcels, and that the final subdivision map be filed with the county clerk's office for final subdivision application prepared by engineer, licensed surveyor. Anything else here?
That's probably, that's, I think we got it.
I'll second.
Basically, you're approving the site, the site plan.
They'll dissolve all of that, create two lots. Do a separate number of things.
All right, Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Malta,
Aye.
Mr. Giardina,
Aye.
Mr. Mixel,
Aye.
Mr. Coastal,
Aye.
Mr. Arena,
Aye.
Mr. Kashani.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.